We have actually 10 million plus concerts and sports tickets, a lot of it in the US. So just about every concert, every show, and every game, you'll have some kind of access to. And typically it's 100 point to $1 conversion. Just about any tickets you can find on like a StubHub, you can redeem less points if you run the 100 to 1 conversion to get those concert tickets.
Hey there, points people. You just heard a clip from Lynn Dai. Lynn is the CEO and co-founder of SuperLogic, a revolutionary technology company backed by American Express, providing next-gen experiential rewards to some of the world's biggest loyalty programs and brands. Lynn also serves on the board of BookIt.com, a next-gen travel and retail platform. In this episode, expect to hear about why more and more people are using their points for experiences outside of flights and hotels, if these types of experience redemptions are worth it from a point standpoint, the rise of universal rewards points, and so much more. And if you are looking to maximize your points so you can travel like Lynn, you can request a free personalized tutorial video for your next points trip. Just go to geobreezetravel.com/request. We pick one free tutorial request to prepare every week, which you'll find in the free GeoBreeze Travel newsletter. So make sure you open our newsletter every Monday to see if your request was the one that we picked and prepared. And now, on with the show. Hey Lynn, welcome to the GeoBreeze Travel podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here and to do a demo of BookIt, which our audience loves whenever somebody builds a cool points tool or travel tool or any new site or app for the travel community. Those are some of the fan favorite episodes. So excited to walk through what you've built here today. But before we jump into all of that, tell us a little bit about you and your background and how did you get into this world?
Yeah, I'm always kind of personally interested in points and miles. I'm a tech entrepreneur, had a couple of different companies in the Web 1 and Web 2 social media era. And in 2015, we took one of my last company public in Canada, and I came back to New York, took some time off, went kite surfing, and met some of my mentors in newly emerging space of blockchain. And today we're literally recording this pod as Bitcoin is hitting an all-time high. And we're talking about in 2015, I met some of the smartest people in the space. And we were talking about one issue is how do you apply this emerging great financial technology to in a way that the average consumer can understand, right? So, because I was like, my mom will never really understand this. And we went back and forth. And one of the ideas was like, can we actually build an entire system to represent rewards and loyalty systems, right? That's kind of the future. We think it's one of the ways to have trusted value, to have everything recorded, but while at the same time represent everything in points and redeemable for real world goods and services that an average consumer like my mom don't need to understand what complex or new next generation technology underneath that is. We had that idea in 2017, we started building in 2018. We first started working with major corporations, Warner Music Group basically piloted and launched a blockchain powered rewards program for 50 million of their fans and 400 major artists. And all this entire time that nobody knew that was a different type of technology powering it, right? And people are just thinking it's kind of fan engagement. And we caught the attention of American Express. So American Express made an investment in the company and we started building some really next generation kind of technology around their rewards ecosystem. So being such a points and miles nerd myself, being able to work with one of the best rewards program out there, companies such as American Express was like kind of a dream come true. And we iterated from there. So today we're the white label experiential rewards provider to many of the top banks and credit card rewards programs. If you want to redeem your points for things like really exciting experiences beyond travel, such as if you want to go to Taylor Swift concert with your points, we're making that happen literally right now. If you want to actually next year go to FIFA World Cup with your points, and that is something we're working on that we're going to bring to several of these major programs. And then most recently, a few months ago, we launched our own B2C product, online travel and shopping portal called BookIt.com. Super exciting, just kind of accumulating all of the knowledge we had for kind of the travel and points mile space and trying to re-envision a easier, more universal rewards product for the general consumer.
So you mentioned experiential rewards. So it's becoming more and more popular that when you log into American Express, Capital One, especially Built, you can use points for things not just travel related, but as you mentioned, concert tickets, sports games, restaurants, comedy shows. And so your company is the one behind a lot of that technology of, hey, how do I use my Amex points? How do I use my Marriott points to book something that's an exclusive ticket or experience that would normally not be on someone's radar? Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're kind of the earliest pioneer in this space. And a lot of the learnings is we see that kind of generationally, right? Millennials and Gen Z are perhaps some of the most lonely generation ever. So people are, because of the swipe left, swipe right culture, right? So people are actually like feel more disconnected. So travel and experiences in the real world are what we think is kind of one way that people really have an extra craving for. And we see that, right? So millennial Gen Z, 78% of them say they prefer experiences than product. And that's why travel is such a successful category for rewards redemptions. And what happened over the last 5 to 10 years is that all the major credit card companies grab onto that idea that offering traveling experiences instead of just boring cashback is the way to attract new signups for millennial and Gen Z consumers, and great influencers such as yourself and doing such a great job kind of promoting that. And that's been a very successful category. But now that like the secret is out, that travel has been as a rewards redemption option is kind of saturated when it comes to or credit card companies that try to compete with each other, right? So the next big unlock, all of the banks and major networks, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, all agree that like basically like experiences is like the key area of focus. But experiences is difficult to aggregate. You know, there are 10,000 concerts, right? There's probably 1,000 festivals. There are VIP sporting events. All of those all sit on not compatible technology rails. Unlike travel, which is something that like back in the 90s, there were just like systems and GDS and all these companies that basically start aggregating inventory. There's no such thing for experiences. It's actually very difficult. So we started working on this idea about 5 or 6 years ago. We started aggregating experiences, right? So from concert tickets to sporting events to VIP access to these events, sportings, award shows, and also culinary experiences, all of those. So now we have one of the largest kind of inventory for those. Over 10 million kind of concerts and sports tickets, over tens of thousands of VIP packages. So you can literally go to the Grammys and sit one row away from Taylor Swift if you want to and have enough points for that experience, right? So that's what's really exciting. And it's been tested by some of the biggest programs and we're experiencing kind of a lot new demand. So we think over the next kind of 12 months, a lot of the programs are going to push this new idea of experiences very hard as a differentiator to really kind of like, why would you sign up and pay $650 or $850 for a premium credit card? Experience is going to be a very, very important part for all of these offerings.
I have admittedly never used my points for an experience. They're always just used for flights and hotels. And I think historically that's been because the cents per point value hasn't been there as much, where I can get 5 or 10 cents per point and fly business class, which is a great experience in and of itself. But then if I wanted to go to the Grammys, what kind of redemption rates would people be able to expect out of their Amex points or some other kind of points if they wanted to go there? Or is it priceless because those tickets aren't on sale to the general public?
Yeah, so those are what we consider, there's a tier of experiences that are priceless, right? There's literally like regular money cannot buy, but you may be able to get there with your rewards points. Those will be in the ranges of millions or tens of millions of points, right? So those will be thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in value. So now there's a couple ways to approach this. In major program, there are frequent business card users that actually do not redeem their points for travel at all, right? So they're business owners or senior executives that the company just pay cash value for business class tickets anyways, or it is considered a tax write-off if you run your own business and pay for the tickets. So there are lots of accounts with millions or tens of millions of points available to spend that don't really have the right kind of product offering from travel alone. And then what we also advocate is really make all these experiences accessible to everyone. We ran a major promotion for Madonna VIP experience on her tour in Vegas. Literally, you can incur 100 points for a chance to win. And some lifelong Madonna fan, this woman that won, and really she only spent like 100 points. And not only was she had a great experience, the Madonna's official account, like on social media, like posted her on. So it's really kind of also a money can buy experience that she got for 100 points. So some of these VIP experiences, I believe also will be very accessible only to points users, and it's just a new fun way for you to have more optionality for kind of all the hard-earned points and miles that you have.
So you have the top tier ones where it would be millions of points to attend the Grammys or these celebrity experiences. You have some where if you only have a few hundred points, you can enter the lottery to win these as well. What about for people who have a quote normal number of points? So a few 100,000 sitting in their points bank, but for whatever reason, they are listening to this podcast, but they are afraid of planes or don't want to fly. There's so much news about different travel restrictions and different problems going on in the world. If someone's like, well, I've got about 500,000 Amex points, I don't really feel like getting on a plane right now, what would be within that range of points budget type of experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. We have actually 10 million plus concerts and sports tickets, a lot of it in the US. So just about every concert, every show, and every game, you'll have some kind of access to. And typically it's 100 point to $1 conversion. Just about any tickets you can find on like a StubHub, you can redeem less points if you run the 100 to 1 conversion to get those concert tickets, right? So the inventory is certainly dynamic and market driven, but certainly for as little as $50, you can get like great shows this summer, like right now to do a lot of amphitheater shows. And then for hundreds of dollars, you can get to concerts like Taylor Swift and whatever around the world.
So I want to pivot a little bit. You mentioned you've also created more of a B2C product with BookIt.com. Does it do something similar where it's just going through and booking experiences with points directly through there instead of Amex, or are these two completely different concepts?
It's a little bit different concept, the evolved thinking, right? So we all know kind of the backdrop is award inventory from different airlines and hotels are less and less and harder to find. There are great deals still out there. And for those of the listeners who doesn't spend like tens of hours nerding out about this themselves, I consider it like a hobby and relaxing when I'm like a challenge for me to find these deals. They should reach out to professionals like you to help them to find these inventory, right? And the reason really is like airlines and hotels are kind of over time really significantly devaluing their points. I was in the Maldives, St. Regis, Maldives, using Bonvoy points last summer for 240 some thousand points, which is a great fine for 5 nights, right? And then this year, the same property is 400,000 Bonvoy points. So the devaluation is significant. The award inventory is less and less. So I think those of us that's savvy with these points and miles usually focuses on credit card points, right? So which are more universal, more transferable to dozens of airline or hotel partners. Those are to keep your options flexible. So credit card points is also under attack, right? So we know the Durbin Act 2.0 is really looking at removing the interchange fee or challenging the interchange fee to a certain extent, and that is how points are funded. So which led us to really rethink kind of the entire value proposition to customers. And we thought that like the number one place that is be able to fund the actual points are actually the merchants, not the network, right? So the MX network or Chase network can fund like charges like the merchants 2.5% or 3.5%, and they're funding kind of the points using that kind of pool of revenue versus a Marriott or a airline that have unsold inventory or have like premium inventory they want to sell at a premium price, have lots of margins. So what we did is over the last 4 or 5 years, while we're working with some of the biggest banks in the world, negotiating with suppliers, we're able to negotiate some really unbeatable wholesale prices, right? Like for example, like Ritz-Carlton will never publicly discount their inventory, but there are wholesale deals that a company like us will have that essentially will allow us to earn a very large commission when certain rooms are booked. So essentially, we take all of that commission, we take up to 90% of the commission, and we basically make that pay it back to users in the form of rewards points. And we basically thought that, and we made the points kind of universal, right? Just because you book a specific brand of hotel with our portal and you're earning like 10%, 15% back, you can spend that same points with another airline, with another even luxury product providers. So it's basically, there's about 2 million merchants on BookIt that we have this interchangeable points, rewards point system called spree points, like a shopping spree. And you can spend that back with any of the 2 million merchants. And generally, we'll put back anywhere between 50 up to 90% of the margin of the commission that we earn back into rewards points. And that's how it works.
Amazing. I'm sure there are some people listening to this where they're a little bit confused on what you're describing right now. Let's go ahead and pull up the screen share and do a demo of how BookIt works and how people can leverage this for their next trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So this is BookIt. So BookIt is kind of a membership model, right? A little bit like Costco. So go tier membership, platinum tier, or diamond tier membership. And before end of our call, I'll give all the Jailbreeze listeners a special code so they can get I think we prepared a 80% discount to our Go membership for everyone listening in. And essentially with the membership, you get into this part of BookIt, which is My BookIt. And we have cruises and hotels and villas, resorts, experiences in just about every city. I just came back from Marrakesh, right? And there are kind of experiences that we have in just about every city. There's shopping, which are premium brands that we negotiate these deals from. So these are luggages. If I want this backpack, it's an expensive backpack. It's a $1,700 backpack, but you're earning $518 worth of spree points. Spree points is essentially backed with blockchain technology and actually is always going to be 100 point to $1. So it's not subject to BookIt or any other company, corporation deciding to inflate or deflate that value. It's always backed by real US dollars. Behind every 100 points issued, there is $1 of digital currency backing it. So that was kind of how we're using blockchain technology in the background.
So with mybookit.com, do you have to have a membership in order to get these deals? Is it kind of like Costco or something like that, where you have a membership to get in, then you get some really heavy discounts or great rewards once you're in?
Yes. So everything had to be behind a paywall. So we do have a membership model.
Can you stack these with other offers? A lot of people who like to go for all of these different kinds of cool deals always wonder, can you stack this with any Amex offers or Rakuten or anything else like that?
You can absolutely stack these with offers. So you still earn, if you check out with any of your preferred credit card, you still earn your UX points on travel or whatever the ticket, the offer is. And you still, if you book a flight with our platform, you still earn 100% of the airline rewards. If you basically book hotels, depends on the hotel chain. Some chains in addition to earning spree points, you'll also earn the hotel points and status and then qualifying nights. But most of the hotels, absolutely, you'll be able to earn spree points, but also you'll get qualifying nights, maybe not also the hotel points at the same time on the same transaction.
So it codes as travel. You get the status benefits as though you booked direct. Let's do a price compare. So can you pull up any of these flights just against Google Flights and see what kind of discounts that somebody would get by going through my BookIt versus just booking direct through the airline website?
Yeah, the airline prices. So usually how it works, it's the exact same price that you will find on Expedia or Google. So it's the exact same price for publicly available price for hotels and airlines. And then essentially we are, for the most part, our wholesale agreement does not allow us to discount the offerings. So we are showing what the airline and hotel are showing on their website of price parity, right? So that's the general thing that you have to uphold, and we're going to give a huge amount of rewards back, right? So let's say we are looking to go to a resort in July and can sort by star ratings. Let's try this. Like the 5-star resorts in Mexico, I can show dates, and this is $1,600, and this is the same exact price you will find on Expedia. And essentially you're earning $427 worth of points back, so about 25% back in rewards. And so it's running a live search, and then you can check out with any of your credit cards. So you can basically stack your credit card rewards. And this deal is even just $427, right? And with that points you're earning immediately, you can book your flight with those points.
So this is going to be the exact same price if you just booked this hotel directly through the website, but then you get about $427 cash back by booking through you guys.
And you can pay with points and cash. We also have a feature you can pay with up to 3,000 different crypto, right? I have my blockchain wallet connected to here. You can pay with Trump coin if you want. So it's very flexible on kind of ability to earn points very fast, right? So one of the things we are trying to solve is earning points is like, other than signing up for a new credit card and get that sign up bonus, it's like a very tedious process. You are typically earning 2 points, 3 points. Takes a very long time to accrue enough points to be able to spend that. So we make it super easy. So you are earning 10, 20, 30% points on every transaction. So that's number one. Number two is, if there is a universal point that just automatically works everywhere, it's a lot easier I essentially gave up trying to teach my mom how to transfer her Chase or Capital One points to different airlines and hotels, right? Like I made her sign up for all these cards and they do have these points, and I end up always being the one to use their points to actually book for them. Versus, I think the stats is there's about 2 million people really interested and nerding out about like points and miles, which is a large population. But we were trying to figure out how do we get 200 million people really find a way to earn and spend their point more easily. So there's just not enough award inventory for 200 million people to get in the game as you and I understand this. So we basically designed something like, hey, what if there is just a universal point system that is super easy? You can kind of use that across different platforms. You don't lose your credit card points. You can stack your credit card points on top of that. And this is a kind of a attempt at that.
So with this, the universal points currency is kind of just like cash back, where if somebody has a whole bunch of Amex points and they don't know how to use them, they could just cash them out and then deposit it into their bank account. Is this similar, since everything is going to be 1 cent per point anyway? Is it effectively just like earning cash back, or how is it different?
Yeah, I don't think you can cash out MX point 100 points to $1. It's some other calculation.
You could do statement credits of 1 cent per point effectively. So you could just buy a whole bunch of things on Amex, cash it out that way, where you're wiping statement credits. Same with Capital One, where you could do that. If you have the Amex Schwab card, you could cash it out that way. But general concept, is there a way to get the outsized value using BookIt that you would get with transferable currencies like Amex, Chase, Capital One? Because while those are definitely more complex and complicated to use, with the higher level of effort comes the higher reward. From what I'm seeing, this seems like very low effort. A way to get low effort, high reward out of it? Or is it like this is for people who don't want to go through all those hoops?
Yeah. So today you essentially accrue Spree points, and you can spend Spree points back across the ecosystem of 2 million merchants, right? So we don't offer transfer points yet. SuperLogic has built kind of points conversion rails. We have access to about 50 different airlines, hotels, through various credit card clients that we have. It's certainly something we're going to turn on a little bit down the road. Today, we basically try to be coming right out of the gate. We want to be like kind of the easiest, simplest earning possible, right? So, and that's kind of what we wrote out. I think probably around 6 to 12 months from now, we'll introduce transferability with these points. So there'll be no different to using your credit card points, except you just earn this super fast, right? Like you are earning 30% back on product purchases, and you're earning kind of 15 to 30% back on kind of travel purchases. So you just accumulate points super fast, and that will be transferable a little bit down the road.
We touched a little bit on stacking earlier, where if somebody wanted to book experiences, one of the fan favorite stacks is if you go through Rakuten and then you book through Viter, sometimes they'll have 10x or 15x back, and then that's like earning 10 or 15 Amex points per dollar if you cash out your Rakuten points as Amex points. And that's if you book through Viter. Is there something like that where, hey, if you book through BookIt.com, you can earn Rakuten points, top cashback points, some other type of points in addition to BookIt, where you're like, oh, we get the BookIt point, but also an extra 5x somewhere else. Does that kind of stack exist?
Yeah, I mean, Rakuten is really interesting. It's a great product. So essentially the merchant will pay for it, right? In this case, it will be BookIt.com if we do use Rakuten to offer additional cashback. So the model is a little bit different. I don't think we'll directly work with Rakuten, even though it's a great model. Essentially, you are guaranteed to already get essentially up to 90% of the margins we have, right? We keep 10% just cover customer service, right? We literally actually have a 700 people call center in the US actually that handles any booking problems you have. So it's not just kind of a random site. So essentially it's a little more of a Costco model, right? Like you're already getting best deal back to you in rewards. So I don't think we're going to be stacking on top of that. But we are working on kind of a network partnership system where influencers, affiliates can sign up and also earn an additional kind of revenue from your own booking or your followers' bookings, right? So that is something that is getting rolled out. That's almost like running your own Rakuten on top of the existing kind of user-based free points that you'll be getting.
How does that differ from a lot of travel clubs and travel memberships where there will be one person at the top of the triangle and then they like get some network buildup and then you get some commissions from whatever the people under you are booking. And then if they get people under them, then those all roll up as well. There are some travel clubs who are kind of shaped that way. How would this model be a little bit different, or is that a very similar model?
Yeah, there's not going to be multiple tiers, right? So I think it's a pretty straightforward affiliate model. So if you basically like Rakuten is essentially an affiliate to all these different merchants, right? So Rakuten can offer 1% or 3% sometimes back on booking.com. And they're basically kind of have a direct deal with Booking as one of the affiliates. And you and I cannot become an affiliate of Booking.com because they don't have a system to really manage tens of thousands of affiliates versus they deal with a few big ones. So what we are doing is kind of just one tier, right? So, but instead of actually going through one partner such as Rakuten, we'll be making that system available to any influencer, any kind of heavy traveler yourself. If you want to sign up an affiliate account and you want to promote, just run your own booking through that, more power to you, right? So we want to put the tools essentially that only major companies used to have access to. We want to put that in the hands of everybody, right? Kind of the future of travel really, I think, is very personalized, connected, and creator driven. So
looping it back to the beginning of the conversation with some of those experiential rewards, is everything available to book on BookIt? Is it all publicly available? And then here you're just getting a good percentage of cash back into your wallet through your points? Or is there anything where it is an exclusive experience where you can only find it if you have a membership here? Kind of like with the Costco membership, certain Kirkland brand items, like you can't find them anywhere else. You need to go into Costco to get this product. Do you have anything like that on the portal?
Yeah, I think a lot of our cruise inventory and some of our villas and resorts inventory are exclusive to us, especially when it comes to experiences. We have definitely exclusive inventories. If you want the first 2 rows of tickets to certain major concerts, and it's just not even available on Ticketmaster, right? So those are deals we will directly cut with the artists or sports teams, and we'll have the exclusive inventory for those directly. So yeah, flights, the major chain hotels, those are things you can find on their website, on Expedia, and on our site. So we can guarantee the same kind of price you will find publicly on any other major site, and we just give you 10 to 15 times more rewards, right? Expedia will give you like 1% back.
For anybody where they're trying to get specific tickets that are hard to come by, is there a way for them to figure out, oh, it's available on bookit.com. I'll just go ahead and sign up for a membership so I can get my Backstreet Boys tickets at the Sphere or something? Or are you not able to see what the inventory is until you're a member?
We did get that feedback. We are working on getting a trial version of the system live and running. We definitely have Backstreet Boy tickets, so we can tell you that. If you're looking for tickets, I can pull a search for you. And for today, we can give all your listeners, if you go to join.bookit.com/geobreeze, we can give it 80% off on Go membership. So that'll drop the $99 price down to $19. But we're also, I think in the next kind of 30, 60 days, we'll have a version of the membership where you get to check out inventory and you earn no rewards, but you'll get to check out inventory.
Are there different tiers to the membership, or it's just one tier, you're either a member or you're not?
So far, we try to keep it simple. There's Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. So it's $99, $199, and $499 for the Diamond membership. So they're a little bit different tiers. You get access to the same inventory to everything except the Diamond tier. Also get the VIP packages, right? So if you want the Grammy tickets or first row to Taylor Swift, we don't have that much inventory. We essentially just limit those for just the Diamond members. But for the most part, everything else you can access with the Gold or Platinum tier, which are great value.
What is the difference between Gold and Platinum? Is it points earning rate or something else?
Yeah, so it's 50% more points earning rate from Platinum to Gold. So it's 99 to 199. So you can run, if you want to nerd out and run the math on $1,000 hotel booking, whether you should be able to cover kind of the difference.
These are annual memberships or monthly?
These are annual memberships.
So yeah, if somebody wants to do some math on how much you're planning to spend on Christmas or upcoming excursions for a particular trip and see if, I'm going to save at least $20 in cash back if I book these things. Let's check out the inventory a little bit. You guys can do that.
If anyone want to follow @join BookIt on social media on either X or Instagram, we'll post a lot of the kind of updated deals that's found on the site.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Lynn, for coming on to the show today and demoing BookIt.com. I know that experiential travel is definitely becoming more and more of a thing where people are looking for diversified ways to use their points and miles, because not everybody wants to maximize for cents per point. Some people just want those experiences that, as you mentioned, money can't really pay for. So thank you so much for building this and coming onto the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.